And now, boys and boys, we are in the garden. Or this is one of the garden things. So, yeah, this week's topic is about not femininity, feminism. What we feel about it, blah, blah, blah. My inclination towards feminism is that it's a very wonderful movement. I consider myself a feminist, though not very active, and by feminism, though the original definition was probably more one of just equal rights between men and women, we both know better, right? Right? We know better. So I consider it more equality between all genders and sexes. And there's some iffy things about feminism. When people are overzealous, I don't like that. Like I'm all for equality of between sexes and genders, but when someone starts making one sex or gender, or both, like one combination of sex and gender, superior to others for no particular real reason, or no good reason, then I start getting upset. But not everybody does that, you know. So yeah, so I consider myself a feminist, but not a very active one. I just find problems with the overzealous branches, and there are other problems I think I find too, but I'm not well versed enough in the subject to really point them out. So, sitting on a very weak bench. I hope this thing doesn't break while I'm on it. Anyway, I got a few minutes before I have to go. To answer questions, Hayden asked if we like arts and crafts. I am a very artsy, crafty kind of person, but not folk art or crafts like that. I like art and stuff, and I'm considering an art major, but there's a lot of complications tied to that, so it's not definite. To answer Caden's question about the fraternity, if they're asking you to completely transition, 100% to join, yeah, that's kind of unfair, but I think we know why it's unfair, but maybe they don't. Not everybody understands trans problems and issues and just things that happen in the trans community. So, I'm not saying it excuses them, but at least understand that maybe they don't quite understand what they're asking. Or maybe they do and they're just being dicks about it. If that's the case, go ahead and fight them on it, or maybe find a different fraternity, or just don't join a fraternity. You can join music groups. I don't know. My simple answer is no, it's not really fair for them to ask that of you, but at the same time, to risk sounding like a complete jerk, they can set the rules for their own fraternity, so, it's kind of a private club, I guess you could say, I don't have much of this. I mean, I'm having my own, my own thoughts on joining Greek life, though, if you couldn't hear that, I said my own thoughts on Greek life. I consider joining the Gamma Rho Lambda chapter. At first I was hesitant because to me it was like, oh, it's only a lesbian sorority. But they specifically talked to me about that. They were like, no, as long as you're not male-bodied and male-identified, you can join. So I'm like, cool. And they're fun, they're awesome, I don't feel it's bad. And, I don't think Greek life is completely unnecessary if you've got responsible groups. So yeah. Yeah. That was that question. And finally, Alex's question on feminine periods, or phases. When I was in junior year, summer between sophomore year and junior year of high school, I thought that to be more feminine, I had to dress more feminine. Mostly because I consider myself a more feminine person, so it's kind of getting tired when people would look at me as butch, and I'm like, oh, I'm not butch. Only not like that, I'm more like, oh, I'm not butch. No, but the point is, I felt like I had to show that I was feminine, but I didn't know how. At least now I know I didn't know how. Back then I was like, oh, I'll just dress like a girl. It'll work. It was weird. It was just awkward, and not long after I tried, I was like, fuck this. you know, went back to being me, and even like from there kind of turned around and looked at being trans again. Not immediately after, but close enough. So yeah, that was my feminine phase. Now, my question for this week has to do with study abroad, because I've been having my own issues with that. I really want to study abroad, Russia and Japan. My total concerns, there's some concerns like, oh no, the timing of it, oh no, your major, what are you going to do to graduate, or will you stay an extra year at the university to finish up, blah blah blah. I'm not too worried about that. That's just semantics or what have you, you know. I'm not worried about that. What I am worried about is that studying abroad in another country, studying abroad Moscow State University. It is the most famous university in Russia, and going there would be such an honor and a privilege. However, if you guys haven't noticed, I'm trans. And that presents some problems, especially because Russia's not known for its incredible tolerance of other groups. So, my problem with study abroad has just been dealing with the fact that going to another country, I'm either going to have to like rush transition and try going, you know, soon so I can fit in Russia and Japan or figure something out. But basically, you know, transition to ASAP so I can go and not encounter too many problems. But at the same time, knowing that, you know, it just bugs me that I feel like I have to transition in order to go to the country and not get my ass whooped. At least not immediately. So yeah, my question regards, do you want to study abroad? If so, where? Why? Do you have any fears about it? That's about it. So catch you next Wednesday, boys and boys. And